And it's live.
Ooh.
These guys are virgins, so.
We are. Please go gently.
That's what she said.
Oh my goodness. I'll actually introduce you to them in a second. I'll just open it up on my computer so I can see all the questions. There were a lot of questions.
Yeah, there were.
Please remember, guys, you are live, so be careful with what you say.
Like you are in all your lives.
Yeah, but I know my audience, so it's not as bad. Okay, I'm now gonna find the.
So put my my teacher type
No.
tone on.
No. All right. Majority of you will probably know who these guys are. This is Stacie and this is Aven. I'm gonna let them introduce themselves and what their knowledge is because I can't remember for the life of me. So I'm gonna start with Aven.
Oh, okay.
Aven, can you please tell them a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Personal training for almost 10 years now. I've also been a professional baseball player. I played professional in Australia and also America. I've competed 4 times. I'm coming up to my 5th show now. I've prepped myself in pretty much all my shows. I'm currently having a little bit of time with the coach, but that's just to help me not think about it.
What have you achieved with your comps and stuff?
Not enough.
But what have you achieved?
How
many have you been in?
No, so I've done 4 shows.
Okay.
I've placed top 5 in all of them.
Awesome.
Top 5 in all of them. 3rd in my last show, with potential. I'm going for a pro card this show, so.
Awesome. That's the goal. And
I am also a personal trainer now, but far less experienced than Aven. My background is all in science, so I've got degrees in biological sciences and honours, and I'm also studying nutrition, and that's where my main interest is. So basically, the science side of training and nutrition rather than just all the bro science that you see in gyms and everything and on the internet.
Hashtag bro science.
Yeah. I also compete now. I did my first comp in February and I placed top 10 down in Arnold's in March. And I'm looking to do my next comp in May. So yeah, that
awesome.
is me in a nutshell.
I love it. It's quite simple. I'm not even going to look at the question, like any comments on there, because I'm going to go through these first. And then if you guys are watching the replay or watching now, the replay, Stacie will answer any questions. Aven's not in here because obviously he is a dude. That's why I've got him on here with me rather than
but
like.
I'm like actually in there, photo really wise.
Yeah. You may have noticed him before in a couple of photos before. I have shared his 6-pack a few times. All right. So the first question was from Jenna. Why, when I'm eating better, smaller portions, less sugar, no takeaway, logging my food and being under my calorie intake, I'm not losing weight?
My first thought on this is probably just that you're eating the wrong amount, straight up. Depends how you calculated what your calorie needs are for every day. There's a lot of people, women especially, undereat themselves and don't realise that they're doing it. And if you're not eating enough, your body just won't respond. It won't get the results that you want to get. So probably my first...
Sorry, Ariel's like annoying the crap out of Stacie. Sit.
So that would be my first thought. Without knowing how much you eat each day, how much you train, all that sort of thing, my first thought would just be that you've basically got the wrong starting calorie rate to get that deficit.
When you eat too low calories like that, your body goes into starvation mode. So what that means is your body's going to want to hold on to fat and not actually want to drop fat or drop weight. And if you do drop weight, it's going to be bad weight. And that's why you see a lot of girls who might drop a lot of weight, but they start to look softer. They don't actually look more toned. Like they'll get softer, maybe their stomachs get really soft and a little bloated because it's starvation mode and you're eating muscle, you're not eating fat.
Yeah, because when you go into starvation mode or when you're not getting enough calories, your body's first response is to get rid of muscle, not to get rid of fat. Because muscle is expensive for your body to keep. So you need to make sure you're having enough, you've got enough calorie intake, otherwise your body will go, well, shit, I'm starving, there goes that muscle.
Interesting. I didn't even know that. I'm just going to check it on my page because someone says it's freezing. But it shouldn't be. it's not fine on mine. It might just be your connection because it's fine on mine. Sorry, you can watch the replay. The next question is from Shanara. If I needed to make small changes at a time, what would I make a priority?
That depends whether you mean small changes nutritionally or in your training.
What would be the most important?
Nutrition, to be honest.
It could go both ways. It really could go both ways.
Yeah, it could.
Because if they're
for
eating
most people-
on a smaller amount, you wouldn't want to change it depending. You might want to just increase your calorie output.
That's still a change.
It's a small change outwards, isn't it?
Okay, well, I think I know what she means more is like if you were to pick any healthy habits to start implementing every single day, what would be, like, for example, out of like drinking water, doing exercise, limiting the amount of whatever, like what would be the one that you'd think is the most important out of everything?
Okay. Make sure you're getting enough protein in your diet and be aware of how much you're eating. I think that's a big thing I think a lot of people just aren't aware of how many calories they're actually taking in a day, so they can't know if they're eating enough because they don't know what they're eating. So I think being more aware is probably the first change to make, and then from there,
Cutting out processed sugars is a good one.
yeah, cut out your processed sugars, make sure you're getting enough protein.
Awesome. I like it. The next one is, what are some easy at-home cheap workouts that I can do that are effective? Time effective, sorry.
If you're looking for time effective, HIIT is always going to be your best option. So high intensity interval training, basically anything that spikes your heart rate up, lets it drop again, spikes it up, lets it drop again. Whether that's a minute of burpees and a minute rest, a minute burpees, a minute rest, anything like that, anything that's an interval, but the intervals have to be high intensity. That's one of your best ways to burn a lot of calories and a lot of fat fast.
I'll answer that question later, Lauren. That's good. How long roughly would a HIIT session be?
Usually around 20 to 30 minutes.
Awesome. I like it. The next one was from Jamie again that says, also if a person can't do squats, etc., what are some bad, because they have bad knees, what are other exercises they could do to get a fine booty?
Okay, I personally think
she has the best ass, so let's just, you're hearing it from the right person.
Thank you. I personally think the king of all booty exercises is a hip thrust.
Yeah.
Any variation of hip thrust or a glute bridge is going to do you wonders. But important thing to remember with your glutes is that they're a powerful muscle. They're not going to grow unless you put proper weight through them. So like, I've worked my way up to, I do hip thrusts 5 sets of 5 at about 110 kilos at the moment. So you've got to make sure you're putting weight through them, whether that's through a squat or a deadlift or a hip thrust, whatever you can do. But don't just stick to isolation work because you do need to get that heavy weight in as well. Also, see a really good physio and just get their advice. Go to them and say, look, I want to start training. I've got this problem with my knee. What movements should I avoid? And then you can go to a trainer and say, hey, I want to build a good booty, but I can't do these movements. And that gives you that gives a trainer a lot more information to work with, so they can go, all right, well, that writes these exercises off and we can work on something else.
Awesome. Very good. The next one, I feel like it's probably going to be more of a deeper question, so you might have to answer it in a different platform as such. Cassandra says, I have PCOS, no gallbladder, fatty liver, and beginnings of fatty pancreas also. I'm walking 3 times a week for an hour, but nothing is budging. What else can I do to help reverse this? I eat low GI and limited breads, etc.
I did see this question, and you're right, it is very in-depth, and I wouldn't want to give too detailed an answer without doing more research first and talking to you personally, just because of the extent of the medical issues that you've got. But just looking at it off the top of my head, for starters, walking for an hour 3 times a week, it's steady state cardio and it has its benefits, but in terms of increasing your output, it's not going to do much. So it's not actually a lot of calorie output. You're probably better off if you can doing something like HIIT, because it's going to, if you get a few sessions of those in a week, it's going to burn more calories than going for a slow walk. Also, sit to whatever extent you can. If you can add resistance training in, the more muscle you can have and the more active your muscles are, the more calories you're going to burn at rest. And losing weight is going to be the best thing for the fatty liver and the fatty pancreas especially. low GI and no bread and stuff in terms of your fatty liver issues and your no gallbladder, yeah, lower carb is probably going to be good for you. So just make sure where you are getting the carbs, they're coming from good sources, your fruits and your vegetables, and minimal whole grains. But yeah, short of doing further research into those issues, I wouldn't be able to give you anything further at the moment.
Yeah, no, I totally understand that completely. The next question is from Tanika. Tanika says, I think you're going to have a really good opinion on this one. Why do most PTs who have zero qualifications in nutrition recommend their clients to eat 1,200 to 1,500 calories to lose weight when they has to show it has been detrimental consequences on your body? Do they think that PTs should be made to take a course in how eat less, weigh less is actual bullshit?
Yeah.
That's a laugh that's like, Tanika, I love you.
To be honest, I think a lot of this one is just that a lot of PTs who give nutrition advice, and aren't qualified to, by the way, are those PTs who are like, I went to the gym that time and it was fun, I'm going to be a PT. Or like, I got on stage that one time at 800 calories a day and, you know, so I'm going to put everyone else on that. And I guess the simple answer to that is really that a lot of PTs are idiots.
Shit.
Yeah.
You got to remember that, to be honest, that information of being able to eat more because that lower calories is not good for you is actually not common information.
It's not.
Unfortunately. What most PTs are getting taught still is that bull crap. That your typical female should only be having 1,500 calories a day. You know, or a female should only have 1,500 calories a day, which is just complete other horseshit. You know, a male should be on 2,000 calories a day. I was having 6,000 calories a couple months ago, you know, just for an example. But that information is not common. It really isn't. And PT courses don't provide that information. PT courses are actually quite useless, to be honest. Most of the information that PTs need to acquire actually comes from other PTs, not from the course themselves. So if most PTs haven't experienced, and this is probably where you need to do some research when it comes to PTs, because there are, I hate to say it, more often than not, most PTs are shit. Sorry to be blunt, but it's true. If the PT has just been a PT and they've done a few courses, but they have no other background in sports or anything like that, unless they've done some serious research, good chance they have no idea what the hell they're doing. They're just going off typical bro science, which unfortunately bro science is very easy to find and it looks like science because everyone's saying it, when it's actually wrong, because what actual science is hard to find because it's hard to filter through the crap. So do your research in PTs, look for ones who actually have legit courses, not just, I've done a PT course or I've done, you know, just basic stuff like that. People with actual diplomas, although even then, like, as you're saying with diplomas.
Well, the scary thing is there are dietitians out there and dietitians have to have an actual bachelor's degree in dietetics. There are dietitians out there who recommend diets of less than 1,000 calories a day. So it's really tough. Just comes down to, do your own research so you've got a little bit of knowledge yourself and have a chat to them before you sign up. And if they are recommending that you eat 1,000 calories a day, or if they're saying stuff that's dodgy, don't sign up with them.
Run away.
Yeah, you don't have to sign up just because you had a consultation. Just be like, all right, thanks very much, I'll get back to you, and then burn their card, basically.
I like it. I'm not a PT or anything like that, obviously. I mean, I love my food. Too much. The wrong food,
there's
too
nothing
much.
wrong with that.
The other thing I would say is go with your intuition when picking a PT. Like, if you really actually enjoy their company and you really vibe with them, then give them the benefit of the doubt and just do your research and just make sure that they do at least give you the requirement or the resources that you do need, and as long as you feel like you're supported as well and they understand and listen to you. That's just my opinion on intuition.
I do definitely agree, but I know a lot of PTs are very, very charismatic and can give you that vibe, and they probably are very supportive, but they still might not know what they're doing. And if that is, and you love them but you're very charismatic, they could destroy your metabolism. And
actually, we did a post not that long ago of 3 ways to know you need a new PT.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
That's
along those lines too.
Yeah. Okay, the next one is from Taylor, and it says, why do some of them charge so much when they do so little?
Because they can.
Business.
Because they can, because people pay them.
That's
it.
That comes back to them being very charismatic and selling what they want to sell. Like
being good salespeople.
in the end, I mean, if they are as good as they say they are, and they'll get you results, I mean, are you going to pay for if they can get you exactly the goals you want? How much is that worth to you?
Yeah.
If that's worth $150 an hour, for example, which I know PTs out there who actually do charge $150 an hour and get paid regularly.
Yeah.
If you feel that's worth it, you're going to pay it. And PTs will not take advantage of by that, but PTs know that. So if they can give you the results, what do you feel it's worth for you? If you feel it's worth $20 to you, well, you're not going to pay a PT, which is average, I think $40 to $50 a 45 minutes now, which is average. Mm. You might think that's a lot, but in the PT world, it's actually really not much money when you take into account all the expenses they have, which there are a lot when it comes to running a business out of a gym.
Yeah, I 100% agree. It's in any industry, I believe.
Yeah, there are always people who will charge out the wazoo and not do much work for it just because they can get away with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Comes back to, again, doing the research.
And also knowing quality over quantity as well. Yeah. This could go into so many different directions, but Jamie says easy, quick snacks that can be frozen. So, like, I guess if they're going to be prepping on a Sunday, what would be... I would throw out their protein balls. Like, make your own protein balls. You can freeze them.
Yes,
but
protein balls.
Do make your own because companies that make protein balls have a tendency to make energy balls and label them as protein balls.
Yeah.
So if you are going to buy pre-made ones, check the nutritional facts because generally one of those balls will have like 200 to 300 calories in it, and most of it will be fats and carbs. Yep. Especially if you're buying them from Boost. Boost protein balls are not protein balls; they're condensed milk balls. That's why they're delicious.
There is definitely a difference. Well, even look at our shops.
Yeah.
They're paleo balls. They're not protein balls. People come and going, "Oh, do you mean protein balls?" Like, well, I mean, 2 do have protein in them, but it's still only like 8 grams. Most of it's going to be
dates,
carbs.
Yeah.
Dates.
But I mean, in terms of freezing stuff, just your slices and your protein balls and that sort of thing. Quick snacks. I'm probably not the best person to ask this particular question because I don't really prep my snacks to freeze them. I have things like yogurts and fruit and protein bars and protein shakes and nuts, stuff that you don't have to freeze, but it's still easy to prep in advance.
Smoothies wouldn't be a bad one to freeze.
Yeah,
actually.
Yeah, I was about to say that you could prep like your fruits and stuff and put them in a snap lock bag and then just chuck it in for a smoothie in the morning. I do that when I'm in a rush in the morning. I'd also say Pinterest it. Pinterest would have so many things. Lauren says, is it possible to change body shape?
I saw this question. To a degree. Like, for example, I was always quite straight up and down when I was younger and I had no bum whatsoever. And I've now got
hard to believe, right?
I
did.
And I've now got like a 30 centimetre difference between my waist measurement and my hip measurement. So it is possible to change your body shape to a degree, but not your base skeletal structure. So like I have quite a short torso and I will always have quite a short torso. So there's no point in me looking at girls with really long lean torsos and going, oh, I want that. Because it's just not how I'm built.
I see where you're coming from.
I'm mostly legs.
And it's also like hips as well. Like some people have actually the bone structure of their hips are way wider than other people. And that's, you know, they could strip a lot of their body fat and they'll still be a size 14.
Yeah, you'll still be curvy, you'll still be hourglass even if you have lower body fat. So you can change the way your body looks, but you can't change your base skeletal structure.
Yeah.
I guess is the answer to that.
Yeah.
Surgery?
That's very expensive. The next question is, why does weight loss make boobs smaller first?
No, because life's really fucking unfair.
It also depends on who you are. Some girls, you might lose it from there straight away. Other girls won't.
Yeah.
Your body will take fat from where it wants to take it first. Unfortunately, you can't predict where it's going to come from. Some people will take from your boobs, unfortunately. Some people might take from your thighs. Some people might not leave your thighs for a long time. Might be the last thing to go.
Yeah.
Everyone's different. So you just got to basically try and sort it out.
I'd say be grateful you can get a boob job rather than a butt job, because if you lose it from your ass, you've got to work for it. You can't get a butt job.
Well,
but it bursts.
Don't get a butt job.
Yeah, don't. I'm not saying do it. Don't, because it's disgusting. It looks wrong, but I'm just saying you can if you want to.
I'm 150% behind boob jobs. Don't get a butt job.
Oh, that's funny. The next one is, do squats make your legs bigger or leaner? I've heard both. My thighs are big and I don't want them to be any larger.
You've probably heard both because it can do both. to be honest, whether squats even target your thighs at all depends on the type of squat you're doing. You can vary a squat so that it almost entirely hits your quads, or so that it almost entirely hits your glutes. The more weight you have, the more it's going to build muscle. But if you are a female, you're not going to get that bulky anyway, just because you don't have the testosterone for that to be possible. If your thighs are
Unless you're like me.
if your thighs are quite big already, then look, it's hard. I don't really know how to say this without sounding rude. It's not meant as an insult, but do you know whether your thighs are big from muscle or whether they're big from fat? Because that's going to be a big part of the answer to that.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
That's so true.
Yeah, squats are a big compound movement. They engage a lot of muscles, and so they burn a lot of calories. So they are very good at helping you lose fat. And generally speaking, for most women, you're not going to get too bulky from them just because you can't physiologically.
What I found in my experience when it comes to females and them putting mass on their thighs is, and this is the case of actually my little sister. I'm not sure if she's watching or not, but I don't think she's on this group.
Yeah.
If she was, this is great at her.
She says fat for sure. She's watching now.
Okay.
Is what will happen is if you do put a bit of mass on or a bit of muscle from doing squats for a while, and your fat hasn't gone from your legs yet, obviously thighs will look a little bigger because you haven't lost the fat yet, because your body again will take from the fat from where it wants to go from, but you may have put a little bit of tone in your thighs, which will make them look a little bigger. But if you keep pushing through it, it will come back down again because they will eventually get leaner if you keep going. It's just a lot of girls can't get past that, it's gotten bigger, when it's because, as Stacey said, you don't have testosterone. You actually can't put on mass like dudes can.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
Really
care what you
bulky
say, you might feel like you can, but you really can't. And if you do, it is because of that issue, because maybe you're putting some tone on before you drop the fat, so it may look a little bigger because your arm has got a little bigger, but you haven't dropped the fat yet. But when you drop the fat, it's going to look that nice, slender tone, feminine look that you're after.
Can I throw a question in, because this is so not my field? Doing squats, would it actually firm your skin to make it feel more toned, even though they may have not lost the fat? Or is the fat more of the cellulite?
No.
I mean, the cellulite's more of the fat.
The cellulite is the fat. So fat deposits under your skin are not even. They're quite rough and lumpy. So when the skin sits against those, that's what gives you cellulite. So once you get rid of that fat, that's how you get rid of cellulite. But again, everyone is different hormonally as to how they hold their fat. Some people can be quite lean and still have a little bit of cellulite. Some people can hold more weight and not have any. It's a little bit of a luck of a draw thing, cellulite.
Yes. I'm very grateful I never held cellulite.
Yeah, same here, I don't have it.
Shut up. The last question is a big one, and it's about PTs as a whole. Are they there for clients' goals and needs, health needs, physical needs, or are they in it for the money or to meet clients' needs they train big people? You'll find some PTs won't train bigger people as they class them as lazy and they give up easily. I have found this in a couple of PTs I've tried to work with.
Once again, this just depends on the PT. There are definitely some out there that are just in it for the money, no question at all. But you will definitely find ones out there that are there to help people with their goals. As for whether or not PTs will train big people, there are definitely PTs out there that will train bigger people.
There are PTs out there that won't.
Yeah, there are PTs.
Just remember, some PTs will go after a target market. They may stray out that a little bit, but they may have a specific field that that's not what I really want to say.
Well, it's more
niche,
like
they might have a niche, and they will go purely for that.
Yeah.
So if they do not take you, it might not be because they don't want to help you, maybe because they don't know how to help you optimally because their niche is elsewhere.
Because they focus on competitors or sports, PTing, and they just don't know how to get you the best results.
Yeah.
But there are definitely PTs out there that will help an overweight person. Lazy clients are the worst, but most decent PTs, it comes back to finding a good PT, won't assume you're lazy just because you're overweight. If you go to your first couple of sessions and you show you're willing to work hard, great.
Yeah. And there's, like I was saying before, there's even PTs out there that just focus on mums. to help like time efficiency,
Yeah.
make sure you can do it at home. You don't need a gym. So it really depends on the PT for sure. Lauren was saying, because you were talking about her thighs before, she said, "Thank you. I feel like I do have more squats now, more muscle now, but the fat is still there. I've been doing Fitness Blender Squat Challenge, which has 10 types of squats. Not the best, but only 8 minutes a day." Cool.
Yeah. My thighs are the last place to lose fat all the time. It drives me up the wall. So it's just some people are that way inclined. Also, with your squats too, body weight squats are good in terms of getting some volume in and fatiguing the muscle a bit. But like with anything, if you can load it up a bit and actually get some weight through.
Even hold your baby. I know you're a mum.
Yeah.
Just if you
Any sort of weight is going to be better than no weight.
Yeah.
Just
start with a water bottle.
again, because it's your thighs are big muscles. They need to be used.
Yeah, they're used to carrying you around all day. So lifting you up and down in a squat is not going to be that much work for them. As much as it does burn.
It'll end up being more cardio than toning. To be honest.
Yeah.
It'll be more a calorie workout because you're obviously using the muscle, so you'll burn calories, but it won't be so much tone.
Yeah. Lauren also asks, are protein bars good or not really? I'm going to say yes and no.
Depends.
I was going to say, can you recommend brands that would be good or?
Depends on your goals and on the protein bar. So your best bet is to always just check the nutritional label. I personally am a really big fan of the Body Science low carb bars because they taste friggin' amazing and they're not too high carb or fat. People like Quest bars. I'm a little on the fence about them, not huge on the taste, and they are quite high carb, so it just depends whether you're after a carb and protein bar or just a protein bar, basically. Yes, there are good ones out there. Have a look at the nutrition labels, see what suits your goals, basically.
I love it. I can see there's still a couple of people watching. Do you guys have any other questions? He loves when I hold him and do squats. I can only do 10 with him, but I can build it up. Exactly. Aim every week, just like add 11 and then go 12 and 13 or whatever.
Yeah, and people who need to do workouts at home, don't have gym memberships, can't get gym memberships and everything, get a couple of kettlebells, get resistance bands or something. Anything to give you a little bit more resistance to work against is still better than nothing.
Yeah.
To add to that as well, whether you're at home or whether you're at the gym, you need to understand that each week you need to try and increase what you've done the week before.
Yeah.
Because your body does gets bored. So if you keep doing the exact same stuff...
Mummy's watching.
Hey, Mum.
Hey, Mum.
Hey. So if you're doing the exact same thing every week, your body's just gonna be like, oh, well, I'm used to this, and it's not gonna. You need to stress your body for it to change, basically. So you need to try and increase whatever you're doing, whether it's some extra reps, some extra weight, whatever you can. Whether at home or at the gym, you need to try and change it up every week to shock your body. You need to shock your body to change. If you're not going to shock your body, it's not going to change. Your body is a very amazing thing, and
it adapts very well.
It does. It requires you to stress it for it to change.
And this comes back to what I was saying before about muscle versus fat. Muscle is metabolically very expensive for your body to maintain. It burns a lot of calories, which is why it's great to have, because it increases your metabolic rate. But your body's not going to build more muscle unless it really has to, because it costs a lot of energy. So you have to keep stressing it, keep putting it under new stresses and extra stress for it to grow that muscle.
Lauren also asks how much protein should be in a bar and should the bar have and carbs.
Again, honestly, it just depends on your goals. It depends on what your macros are and what your needs are. If you there are days when I'll get toward the end of the day and I'm like, oh shit, I need protein and carbs. So then something like a Quest bar would be better for me. It really, really depends on you and what your macro needs are.
Yep. I love it. Awesome. I'm actually going to add these guys. They have their own group called Unstoppable Creations. Is that what it's called? Yeah. So if you guys want to actually get more info from them, I'm pretty sure they're going to start doing PT programs. Is that right?
We've
I'll let you talk about it.
Unstoppable Creations, we started just basically to try and get some info out there for people. So
to get rid of the bro science.
Yeah.
Just free information to give people actual proper information, science-based information, not bro science.
Yeah, so we put a post...
Hashtag no bro science. I'm going to start that.
Hashtag no bro science.
Hashtag no bro science. Hashtag science bitch is my job.
Hashtag my job. So yeah, once or twice a week we put a post up just with some information we think will benefit people.
Your
and anytime
now watching.
Hey, anytime you want to know anything about exercises you should do or anything like that, feel free to message us and be like, hey, can you guys do a post on this? Otherwise, yeah, we have just started offering training and nutrition programs through Unstoppable Creations. So we've got our first few clients running now, which is really
Online,
cool.
that is.
Yeah.
So it's not physical PT, it'll be online nutrition and programming.
Yeah, and we do weekly check-ins and all that sort of business.
Online support, all that kind of stuff.
Potentially looking at doing some person-to-person PT in the future, or at least I will be. But yeah, still working out the logistics of that in terms of gyms and things.
Cool. I'm excited. Do you guys have anything else you want to say, or are you happy with what you've covered?
I really just want to stress I think people's biggest issue with any kind of fitness or weight goals is not having enough basic knowledge just in terms of what you are currently eating. Because when I never used to track calories or anything like that. The first time I actually did track calories, I found out I was eating about 1,200 calories a day, and I hadn't realised it. So you might not be aware that, like, you might be eating what you think is really good food and it's nutritious and all that sort of business, but it just might not be enough, or it might be way more than you thought it was. Because the number of times I've had people be like, "Oh, you're hungry? Why don't you just have something small, like a handful of almonds?" A handful of almonds is a lot of calories. Okay, so yeah, the more knowledge you can get about that sort of thing, the better.
I like it. Thank you for coming over, guys.
Oh, good. Thank you for having us.
It was a bit easier to have them here rather than teaching you how to use a live video that you've never done before.
Yeah,
so
that would have gone badly, I think.
Yeah. I just want to let you guys know as well that I'm going to be doing these more often. I'm trying to get, or I am going to have Kimberly, the chick that just did the naked photos yesterday.
Ooh, they were good.
She's going to come in next Friday, and we're going to actually do a live video like this on yoga. And I have Taryn in a couple of weeks talking about essential oils and how essential oils will be really good for you. If there's other things that you want to learn about anything that's got to do with self-love, please comment and let me know. Someone asked a question. Hello, Leanne says, there are any apps to recommend to a good workout calorie intake? MyFitnessPal.
MyFitnessPal.
I think, yeah,
Most easiest.
Yeah,
easiest, most generic.
It's the easiest to use, and it's also got the best food database as well. So you can scan barcodes with it, all the way. So you can just search up Baker's Delight scone, it'll bring up all the different ones, and you can pick it.
It's all we use. It's gonna be close enough to get you what you need.
Yeah, I've used it before too when I've had to calorie count, and it worked a treat. I know you can actually buy one that's a bit more in depth for macros. Is that right?
No. MyFitnessPal will do all your macros and everything.
Oh,
if
cool.
you go premium, it'll give you a little bit more information,
Yeah.
but I ain't gonna pay for that shit.
Yeah.
So.
Awesome. Cool. All right, guys. Yeah, if you have any more questions, Stacey will answer them when she's got some time. And if there's anything you want to learn more of that's in regards to self-love, like essential oils and yoga or anything, crystals even, I might get someone in that's really good with crystals, or I might just do a live video on it. But if you, Leanne says thank you. Oh, and here's another question. Should you always be counting your calories? Is Monique.
It depends. It depends on your goals.
Yeah.
Okay?
I don't, because I ain't got time for that
Yeah.
shit.
Some people, honestly, it depends on your goals, and it depends on what you're going to be happy doing. Some people just, they're like, look, I don't care if I'm never at 10% body fat. I don't care if I'm...
It's okay, Monique. She's like, sorry, I asked a question.
Good. Yeah, some people are like, look, I don't care if I'm ever that lean. I don't care, like, I'm never going to step on stage or anything. I just want to be able to live my life. In that case, it's probably not worth it. But like for someone like me or Aven, where we compete and that sort of thing, it is very, very important, because you need to know calories in versus calories out. It just depends on your goals and how badly you want those goals, basically.
Your best bet is if you are having some issues, but you do want to know where your food is at, so you can make adjustments. Because yeah, exactly. To be honest, if you don't have to count calories, don't. Because once you do, you'll never stop.
Yeah.
It consumes you.
There's
It
no
becomes
going back.
addictive.
Maybe just for one day. If you, because most people generally, but most people generally eat fairly similar though. They do. Generally, I know I eat something every day, but do normal people eat something very similar every day?
Well, I thought the same groceries every week, so every week I eat the
Generally,
same
most
thing.
Like,
people
try
eat
for a week and it'll give you an idea.
just for a week, just to see what you're averaging out, and that way at least you'll know you are low, and then you don't actually have to count to add calories. You're just gonna go, alright, well maybe I'm a little low, I'll just add a little bit of food here.
Or you might
Just a small increase to start with and see where it goes. Or if you're having too many calories, just go, I'm going to take a little bit of food out. And you can track that easy enough with adding food, taking food away.
Yeah. I don't know if you want to get into this topic, Monique. Not with these guys. Okay, she does. All right. So the question was thoughts on intermediate fasting.
Intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
I really like it.
Okay. Oh, that actually threw me. I thought you hated it.
No. No, it's fine. It's actually one of the most science-based actual things out there.
Yeah. Sorry, my gut.
I really like it. And for anyone who's not familiar with intermittent fasting, there are a lot of different there are a lot of different variations of intermittent fasting. Anything from a 16-hour fast and an 8-hour eat window every day, 18-hour fast, 6-hour eat window, all the way through to 5 days of eating and 2 days of fasting. Like, there are a lot of different variations. I personally like the daily ones. If for no other reason than that, if you limit yourself to 8 hours of eating a day, you're not going to eat as much food. Like, straight up there is one of the main reasons, or probably the main reason intermittent fasting is good for fat loss. It's just that it's difficult to physically eat as much in 8 hours as you would in an entire day. And also, there is some research that suggests that it might help with insulin sensitivity and that sort of thing, because it gives your body time without an insulin response, basically, to process and do its thing and burn its fat, because you don't burn fat when your body releases insulin. Insulin prevents fat burning.
If someone was to do it for the first time, is there a recommendation of like how long they go for, or it depends on the person?
The standard one is the 16 and 8.
So 16 hours not eating, 8 hours eating.
So
it could be like 2 to 10?
No, or 12 to 8. Depends whether you want to, like, if you like to have dinner with your family and you have dinner at 7, then make it from 12 to 8 or from 1 to 9 or something. It is very, very difficult at first. First couple of weeks, it is rough. Like, your body is like, what shit are you doing to me, eat? But if you stick with it, it does get a lot easier, your body adjusts.
I've also been told that you'll also be more in tune with your body, so you'll actually know if you're hungry or if you just want to emotionally eat.
Possibly. There's also studies saying it will help with your body will have more time to actually heal itself because it's not worried about processing food. But on the intermittent fasting, yes, it does mean you eat less food, which is good. But then some people go to extreme where they go, so I only have maybe 2 meals in that 8 hours, because that's what they're used to having. So let's go, I'll just cut the first meal out of there. So I only have 2 meals. So you'll have way less calories. So yes, your idea is to maybe limit the calories intake that you are having for the day, but you still need to have most of the calories you're having in the day. So you still might need to have 3 or 4 meals in that 8 hours.
Yeah. So like, for an example, when I'm bulking, I won't intermittent fast, just because I have enough food that I'm full throughout the day. But when I get toward prep and I'm not on as many calories, I will intermittent fast simply because I like to be full for 8 hours rather than hungry all day. So yeah, I like it.
You just got to be careful with that. Because that's what I've noticed. Especially a lot of females who do intermittent fasting, is that they might only have 2 meals in a day. Just like, I got results, for the first week, and then I platted really hard. Well, because you dropped a lot of fat, because you halved your calories, but then you're on a starvation mode, and you're done.
You'll know something's going wrong if you just suddenly out of nowhere are tired and you're relying on coffee and you're still tired.
Yeah. And Lauren,
says things.
That is.
Lauren says true. I had an eating disorder, which meant I counted every calorie. It can be dangerous.
Ooh,
That's true. Orthorexia is the term they use for it. It's obsession over eating, and very, very tight obsession over eating, to the point where if you don't hit those goals and if you don't stay within those very strict parameters you set yourself, you freak out. It like does your head in. That's actually how I went the first time I tried counting macros, and I went off counting for ages because of that experience, because I got really obsessive about it. I would freak out at the thought of having to go out with friends and family. Anytime anyone suggested I eat anything outside of what I'd planned for the day, I'd freak out. So if you do have disordered tendencies in your thoughts toward food, be careful counting calories and just be aware of how you respond to it. And just be aware that at that stage in your life it might not be a good choice for you until you have a healthier relationship with food and think you can manage it. because the first time I tried counting calories, that's sort of how I went, and it wasn't good. And it's taken quite a while for me to get to a point now where I can count calories and have it be beneficial for me without that unhealthy side of it.
Good answer. Cool. Is there any more questions? I've been going to like hang up for so many times. I'm going to give you 30 seconds. If you've got questions, go. Waiting. Countdown. 29. No, but yeah, I'm sure you guys have helped them heaps. I've even learned a couple of things, so that's really cool. But yeah, I've also put the link to their group in there, so if you want to get in touch with both Aven and Stacie a little bit more. Lauren says I still can't eat the same thing twice in one day. It's odd. Thank you for the advice.
Yeah, it is weird how your mind works sometimes. Like,
yes. That's where mindset comes in. We're like a whole tripod right here. It's like physical, nutrition, and mentality.
Mindset is remarkably important when it comes to fitness and everything.
Yeah, 100%.
And I could talk about like fitness and mindset and nutrition stuff for like probably until you all died of boredom. So if you do have any questions, feel free to ask because I will talk about it.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Alright guys, I'm going to let these lovebirds go home and deal with the rest of the afternoon. Are you going training now or have you already trained?
Already trained.
Oh, you already trained. Okay, cool. Alright, yeah, these crazy people train ridiculous amounts every day. But they love it. That's why they do what they do. Alright, I'm going to leave you guys to it and thank you so much for watching and thanks for having them in here. I'm sure they'll do it again, and this is their first live, so now they're used to it, they can do it in their own group.
Yes.
We shall see.
You will, you did great. Alright, see you guys.
See you.
Bye.